Officer, Commander Ellis. Acting NMTSC Command Master Chief, Senior Chief Chartier. DFAS Director, Commander Sullivan. DFAS Senior Enlisted Leader, Senior Chief Reyes. As well as staff, families, and friends, thank you for joining us this morning, and welcome. The Hospital Corpsman Basic Program at Joint Base San Antonio opened its doors on 5 July 2017. The current average student load is over 1,200 sailors daily. Over the last 14 weeks, the sailors of Class 030 have completed over 560 hours of didactic and practical skills training. They have been trained in basic life support, emergency medical care, nursing care, which includes patient assessment, management of shock and trauma patients, medication administration, venipuncture, IV administration, as well as shipboard medical care, tactical combat casualty care, and a wide variety of additional skills and hands-on training. It is my pleasure to inform our guests about the Navy's student leadership positions. These positions are designed to give sailors the opportunity to develop leadership qualities early in their military career. These individuals act as a liaison between the instructors, the Navy military training instructors, and the students in their program. The student leaders volunteer their time in order to help other sailors adjust to a new style of living. Leading Petty Officer. Given the responsibility of leading the class, as well as carrying out the instructions of the class instructors and Navy military training instructors. Assistant Leading Petty Officer. Assist the Leading Petty Officer in carrying out their instructions and NMTI's orders for student accountability and military bearing. Master at Arms. Oversees class accountability at all times and assists LPOs and ALPOs in their daily duties by maintaining good order and discipline within the class. Educational Petty Officers. Chosen for their strong study habits and exceptional test-taking skills, they hold after-hour study sessions and assist classmates with proper note-taking skills and study habits. Command Pass Coordinator. Responsible for administrative tasks concerning sailors within the class. These tasks include, but are not limited to, recall rosters, muster reports, special request chits, and other administrative assistance. Thank you, student leaders. About face. Take seats. Today we have one student who earned distinction by achieving academic excellence as the honor graduate of Class 030. H.A. Stopa is eligible for the Accelerated Advancement Program, giving the commanding officer of his next permanent duty station the opportunity to advance between the 4 and 10 month mark to the pay grade of E4, regardless of current rank. Today we have 34 students who earned distinction by achieving academic excellence on the METSI's Dean's List. These students have earned a GPA of 92% or above. Dean's List recipients, attention! About face. Please join me in giving the AAP and Dean's List recipients a round of applause. About face. Take seats. At this time, the commanding officer would like to recognize the class leader, H.N. O'Connell, for his exemplary leadership displayed throughout the course. Attention to award. Letter of commendation to Hospitalman Liam J. O'Connell, United States Navy, for professional excellence and achievement in the performance of his duties while serving as class leader, Navy Medicine Training Support Center, Fort Sam Houston, Texas, from November 2021 to March 2022. Displaying excellent leadership qualities, his assistance, the Navy medical training instructors in the day-to-day management of Class 030, ensuring 100% of requirements were met. Hospitalman O'Connell's exceptional professionalism, initiative, and loyal dedication to duty reflect credit upon himself and were keeping with the highest traditions of the United States Naval Service. Signed, A.M. Case, Captain, Nurse Corps, United States Navy, Commanding Officer. commanding officer would also like to recognize the honor graduate for their exemplary academic skills displayed throughout the course and attaining the highest grade point average. Today's honor graduate for Class 030 is H.A. Stopa. Letter of commendation to H.A. Stopa. It is with great pleasure that I commend you for your superior performance and accomplishments while serving as a hospital foreman basic program student at the Medical Education and Training Campus from 8 November 2021 to 7 March 2022. You consistently performed your duties in an exemplary and highly professional manner, culminating in your selection as the honor graduate for Class 030, exhibiting sustained dedication and commitment towards completing an extremely intensive and difficult hands-on curriculum. You achieved a final grade point average of 99%. I commend you for a job well done and wish you continued success in your future endeavors. Signed, Thomas C. Hertzig, Captain, United States Navy, Commandant, Medical Education and Training Campus. Class, take seats. Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. It is my pleasure to introduce our guest speaker for today's closing ceremony, HM1 Davendonis.
Is this your last one?
My last one. Just small apologies ahead of time. It's a little lengthy. No, I'm gonna make you cry. So good morning, everybody. I'm H1 Davendonis. I am known at this command as also Ryan Reynolds. I don't know what the similarity is, but out of 23 classes, that's the nickname I get over and over again. So good morning to everybody in attendance, family, friends, staff members. It's a pleasure to be up here. First, I would like to give a small shout out to Class 030 for crossing the finish line today. Rock. You have all been a pain in my posterior, and I am glad to get rid of you. I say this with whole truth. Every class is a unique pain, some bigger, some smaller. But more importantly, you will be replacing your new peers in the fleet and demanding mission-critical assignments, and we need you there. Today is also a finish line for a different reason. 3 years ago, I checked into this command and I pushed 030 to their graduation. Today, 3 years later, I push you to yours as my last class here at HCB. It is bittersweet. Today is an accomplishment that I want you to relish, but only for today. Tomorrow is a whole new adventure, mission, and experience. I'm also the command historian, so I would like to compare this finish line with a piece of history. Anyone who knows me knows I love history, and I will take any chance I can get to talk about it. 77 years ago, right now, the Battle of Iwo Jima was being fought in the Pacific. This battle was noted for the famous flag-raising photo on Mount Suribachi and being the bloodiest battle in Marine Corps history, with well over 27,000 Marine and sailor casualties. It started on February 19th, and on March 16th, the Marines declared the island secured. They had achieved their finish line. Unfortunately, after the Marines and sailors took a few days to rest, they slowly became complacent, and on March 25th, one desperate Japanese banzai charge struck in the night, killing about 1,000 more Marines and sailors. This led to many more casualties, but ultimately the complete victory that following morning. Another finish line. But 6 days later, on April 1st, those same Marines and sailors were on the beaches of Okinawa conducting the largest battle in the Pacific theater. I bring this up today because today is not the finish line. It is one of many. Do not think that today has set the bar to maintain. This is truly just the beginning. Never allow yourself to become complacent. Always push yourself to learn more and be ready, because you never know what can happen tomorrow. 99% of the time, our day is uninteresting, and that is a good day. No one died, no one got hurt. But it's the 1% you never planned for, that you didn't see coming, that ultimately determines your worth. Don't waste all of that free time not perfecting your skills, because trust me, they will fade. The Navy is full of obstacles, and being a corpsman brings its own set of unique challenges that are unmatched by any other. You will be pushed to your limits dealing with patients and the emotions associated with it. Likewise, you may experience the rush of dodging bullets and haircuts downrange with our Marine Corps brothers and sisters. You must stay resilient if you are to last in this profession. There will be people who stand in your way who say your goal is impossible. I say, nothing is impossible to those who will try. Remember those words, because you now walk amongst giants and the memories of those who have gone before you or who still stand amongst you today in this very room. As you walk across the stage, don't lose sight of what this graduation truly means. It is not just a simple exchange of certificate and applause, but a rite of passage into the most highly decorated and arguably the most honorable profession in the Department of Defense. These are hallowed grounds that you will be walking across today. Today you enter the ranks with Team 1, HM3 Anderson, HM2 Janke, HM3 Freilich, and HM3 Kilmer. Do not take this accomplishment for granted. Not everyone who started with you is here today, and not everyone here today will be with you here tomorrow. Just look at the recent events and losses the Corps sustained in Kabul, the ship collisions, and the helicopter crashes. Additionally, take a look at the current global situation. We are at a crossroads where you could potentially be thrust into the fire with little preparation aside from what you have learned here. Just like the Marines going to Iwo Jima and Okinawa, you too could have an impossible task, but a new finish line. This high-risk situation is nothing new. What has been laid upon our shoulders is now being laid upon yours. That obligation is to represent this rating, this way of life, proudly, both in the fleet and at home. We are the link that binds all other ratings and branches together. Corpsmen keep the greater machine running. That machine is the body and mind, and we will always answer the call. This is a selfless service. It is no longer about you, but how you can improve the quality of life of those around you. Corpsmen take the emotional baggage of those around them, and we suffer in silence. Ensure that when you feel worn down, you offload that baggage or you will rot from the inside. I would like to share my personal motto, quoted from Hannibal Barca, History, in 218 BC. I use this to inspire myself when things get tough or life seems to stack up against me. Hannibal was told by his generals that crossing the Alps to invade Rome, the greatest empire in the known world at that time, was impossible. Facing his peers, he made a stand and said, "Aut viam inveniam aut faciam," which translates, "I will either find a way or I will make one." I hold this as a standard in my life. If the answer is not apparent, then I will make a solution that will work, both in my professional life and in my personal life. I ask you to find something that will push you like this quote does me. Because when a fellow comrade is down under a hail of gunfire screaming, "Corpsman up!" and the doors to hell are set before you, you will need every ounce of courage you can muster to go into hell and back, and you may have to go many times. Rest assured, if a corpsman still draws breath, we will get to you, either by dodging bullets, closing with and destroying the enemy with fire maneuver, or we will die trying and we will meet you on the other side with arms open. But my standards are not raising the bar. They maintain the same standard as those in this room, those on the walls you and your families walk by today, and those the buildings and ships are named after. They set the bar repeatedly for the last 123 years of the hospital corps, and it is up to you to keep that standard as high as our flag. This means practicing these skills you have learned. Today is not the end. Today is the start of a never-ending process of being better than yesterday. What is standard practice today is obsolete tomorrow. Do not wait to be wrong when you need it to be right. And let no ghost of a fallen friend haunt you saying, "Had you only kept training, asked more questions, and took it seriously, then maybe, just maybe, I would have lived." Shoulder this responsibility with tremendous pride. Corpsmen are prideful and boast about being the best, yet humble enough to aid others to success with a reaching hand. You are corpsmen now. Start acting like it. The excuse, "I don't know," does not exist. Figure it out. Good luck to you all. I wish you great success. I look forward truly to seeing you in the fleet. Thank you.
Thank you, H1 Davin Dennis. H1, please meet at center stage. As stated, this is H1 Davin Dennis's final graduating class here at Corps School. In honor of this, Class 030 wanted to present him a gift, a signed picture of the class photo with him at the center, his favorite place to be.
I'm not sure what you say. Say it again.
Thank you again,
Now I'll be able to remember your names.
I would again like to invite families and friends to take photos as we present each student with their graduation certificate. Please hold all applause until all names are called.
First row, attention. Right, face. Forward, march.
H.N. O'Connell, 2nd Marine Division, Camp Lejeune, North Carolina. H.A. Stopa, NMRTC, Naples, Italy. H.A. Aguilar, MedLab C School, Fort Sam Houston, Texas. H.N. Aguilar Reyes, NOS, Alameda, California. H.A. Alabar, NMRTC, Jacksonville, Florida. H.R. Bates, NMTSC, Fort Sam Houston, Texas. H.A. Baldwin, MedLab C School, Fort Sam Houston, Texas.
Forward, march.
H.R. Carlson, ABTC School, Pensacola, Florida. H.A. Carabino, ABTC School, Pensacola, Florida. H.N. Carrion, 3rd Ma, Camp Pendleton, California. H.N. Castillo Mercado, NOS, San Juan, Puerto Rico. H.N. Chavez, MedLab C School, Fort Sam Houston, Texas. H.N. Christensen, FMTV, Camp Pendleton, California. H.N. Colvin, CI, Great Lakes, Illinois. H.A. Cortez, MedLab C School, Fort Sam Houston, Texas. H.N. Jagan, NMTSC, Fort Sam Houston, Texas. H.A. Dennis, NMRTC, Fort Smith, Virginia. H.N. Duncan, Preventative Medicine C School, Fort Sam Houston, Texas. H.N. Esquivel, NMRTC, Yokosuka, Japan. H.A. Ezeribe, NOS, Houston, Texas.
Right, face, forward,
H.R. Fleming, NOS, Portland, Oregon.
Sorry.
H.N. Fowl, MedLab C School, Fort Sam Houston, Texas. H.A. Freeman, Farm Tech C School, Fort Sam Houston, Texas. H.R. Guest, Preventative Medicine C School, Fort Sam Houston, Texas. H.R. Gomez, 2nd Marine Division, Camp Lejeune, North Carolina. H.R. Guerra, NMRTC, Pensacola, Florida. H.N. Gunder, NMRTC, Fort Smith, Virginia. H.R. Pop, MedLab C School, Fort Sam Houston, Texas. H.N. Hagley, 1st Marine Division, Camp Pendleton, California. H.R. Harrell, NOS, Riverside, California. H.N. Harris, NOS, Alaska. H.N. Hollowell, NMRTC, Atsugi, Japan. H.N. Putin, NOS, Kansas City, Missouri.
right, face,
H.R. House, Fort Sam Houston, Texas. H.A. Patash, MedLab C School, Fort Sam Houston, Texas. H.A. Lesperance, NMRTC, Jacksonville, Florida. H.N. Lowe, NMRTC, Pensacola, Florida. H.A. Barron, Nosk, New Jersey. H.R. Martinez, 1st Marine Division, Camp Pendleton, California. H.A. Bailey, Hemodialysis C School, Portsmouth, Virginia. H.N. Melton, Pharmacy Technician C School, Fort Sam Houston, Texas. H.A. Miller, Fort Sam Houston, Texas. H.R. Mitchell, NMRTC, Portsmouth, Virginia. H.A. Moffitt, MedLab C School, Fort Sam Houston, Texas. H.N. Munoz, NOS, San Antonio, Texas. H.N. Naku, NOS, Belvoir, Virginia. H.R. Naguna, NMRTC, Bremerton, Washington. H.R. Durando, Paris Island, South Carolina. H.R. Nelson, 2nd MLG, Camp Lejeune. H.R. Newman, USNS Mercy, San Diego, California. H.N. Nguyen, NOS, Minneapolis, Minnesota. H.A. Patino, USNS Mercy, San Diego, California. H.A. Peralta Gomez, Surge Tech C School, Fort Sam Houston, Texas. H.A. Renfrew, MedLab C School, Fort Sam Houston, Texas. H.A. Rogers, SMT, Pensacola, Florida. H.N. Russo, CI, Great Lakes, Illinois. H.R. Sanford, Physical Therapy C School, Fort Sam Houston, Texas. H.A. Sherry, ABT C School, Pensacola, Florida. H.N. Sumwal, NOS, Cincinnati, Ohio. H.R. Talbot, Preventative Medicine C School, Fort Sam Houston, Texas. H.N. Thistle, NMRTC, Pensacola, Florida. H.N. Ulrich, SMT, Pensacola, Florida. H.N. Washington, NMRTC, Jacksonville, Florida. H.N. Weber, NMRTC, Great Lakes, Illinois. H.A. Yeltsin, Fort Sam Houston, Texas. H.A. Yates, Pharmacy Technician C School, Fort Sam Houston, Texas. H.N. Doe, NOS, Fort Worth, Texas. Please join me in giving the newest hospital foreman a round of applause. All hospital foremen, past and present, please rise for the hospital foreman pledge. Graduates, attention! Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I solemnly pledge myself.
I solemnly pledge myself.
Before God and these witnesses.
Before God and these witnesses.
To practice faithfully all of my duties.
To practice faithfully all of my duties.
As a member of the hospital corps.
As a member of the hospital corps.
I hold the care of the sick and injured.
I hold the care of the sick and injured.
To be a privilege and a sacred trust.
To be a privilege and a sacred trust.
And will assist the medical department officer.
And will assist the medical department officer.
With loyalty and honesty.
With loyalty and honesty.
I will not knowingly permit harm
I will not knowingly permit harm
to come to any patient.
to come to any patient.
I will not partake of nor administer
I will not partake of nor administer
any unauthorized medication.
any unauthorized medication.
I will hold all personal matters
I will hold all personal matters
pertaining to the private lives of patients
pertaining to the private lives of patients
in strict confidence.
in strict confidence.
I dedicate my heart, mind, and strength
I dedicate my heart, mind, and strength
to the work before me.
to the work before me.
I shall do all within my power
I shall do all within my power
to show in myself an example
to show in myself an example
of all that is honorable and good
of all that is honorable and good
throughout my naval career.
throughout my naval career.
Would the guests please stand for the singing of the Navy song, Departure of Naval Class, about face.
One team! One fight! One team! One fight! One team! One fight!
Thank you all for being part of history today. To the newest hospital corpsmen, we wish you much success in your future endeavors, and we welcome you to the most decorated rate in the Navy. Carry with you the honors and traditions of the hospital corps. Class, dismissed!